Howdy folks, welcome back to 15 Nautical Mile Arc. This is leg 15. This is the leg I've been waiting for of a Transcontinental Series because we get to fly by New York City today. And I do have the Drzewiecki Design payware scenery installed there in New York City. So we will see that, which means I had to turn off real world weather for this flight and make it clear because in real life right now it's cloudy and it's about 33 degrees and the winds are 33 knots sustained, up to about 50 gust. And the runway where we're landing at, the only approach we can take for that weather doesn't have an instrument approach because you can't really land that way. So the other three options would be a disaster. So a couple of reasons we have real world weather turned off. One, the scenery. We want to be able to see the scenery. We've been waiting for this. And two, the weather is probably not appropriate for this aircraft, or I'm just not a good enough pilot to handle the real world weather with sustained winds like that, which means we'd be either landing with a crosswind of 33 plus knots or a tailwind of 33 plus knots. I can't do that. So we're going to take it easy today. Easy for the scenery, easy for the flight. This is the only time in this entire series where we have turned off real world weather. So all 14 legs leading up to this has been real world, and the last two legs after this will also be real world. If you think back a couple legs to leg 13, that worked against us. We crashed because it was full fogged in the mountains and no ILS approach. And well, we're not in that Cat 3B anyway. It was disastrous. So hopefully this is the opposite. I'm totally going off on a tangent. I have no idea why. I guess partly I'm excited to be flying again. You noticed a couple weeks back or a week back we had a big leg in videos. I've been really busy getting used to my new schedule with my kids in basketball 4 days a week, actually 5 days a week, and the holidays. And my wife's not working right now. She's an English professor and she's between semesters. And I just haven't been flying. So it's good to be back. I'm actually forging some time right now to do this flight because I've been waiting for like 3 weeks to fly. So I hope this works out. The fact that you're watching this means it did work out. So here we go. I'm lining up my camera so I can see the cockpit, not the cockpit lights, the cabin lights from outside. All right, without being said, my time is very limited in real life. I got to get this going. So what are we going to do? Runways don't really matter because we're not doing real world weather, but if we were, we would have taken off on runway 27. So we'll do that. We'll leave runway 27 or Brandyville in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Hit a couple waypoints on purpose to fly just over the south tip of Manhattan to see the payware scenery. And then we'll land at Kilo Hotel Whiskey Velveeta Victor, what in the world? In Brookhaven, at Brookhaven, which is Shirley, New York, on Long Island, right next to Lufker, which is Spadaro, which I also have payware scenery for, which we're not going to land at because this thing doesn't fit. I tried that like 2 years ago. We tried that. It was hilarious. So, let's see. What am I thinking? Let's get this thing going. I also have a timer running because I've got dinner cooking in the back. Oh, man, this is not the best time to fly, but I really wanted to do this flight because it's going to be another couple weeks before I can fly again. So let's see. What do we need to do? We already have the cabin lights on. All my presets have been redone now that we can do 20. So what was I looking for? I'm looking for this. All the cabin lights are set up the way we want them to be. External power is on. What are we going to do? I think we are going to get our weight and fuel loaded up here. Fuel, hour and a half. This is kind of a longer leg than the others. Let's go close to 2 hours. I really forgot to check the actual distance, but we're going to go that way. Let's come down here. Let's turn on the battery and get some stuff going here. We can start turning on some of our lights. Actually, those are the only ones we need right now. Let's come back out here. Actually, that's not the one you want. Is it this one? You know, this preset is in a different spot every time. I can't get it to do what I want to stay there. We're going to close some doors. And we're going to close the cockpit door. If we hop inside super fast, you might be able to whip around and see it closing. There we go. I adjusted all my camera stuff, so I'm going to get used to that. Let's see, what do we need to do? Come back up here and turn off the emergency lights now. And then we're going to go lower our autopilot thing. And click that. Does does this start off the screen for everybody else too? Should I put in a bug report to Carenado? I already have a bug report in for these lights being on and this cabin differential thing being wrong, whatever. And I'm going to put in a bug report for this too. I don't know if I'm the only one. Maybe I am, but it drives me crazy. It's off the screen every time. But we are getting offset here on another tangent. Now this parking brake thing is on. A couple of videos ago, you remember, it was backwards. So hopefully that is going to work for us this time. Fuel switches are next, and my new preset for fuel switches are what? Oh, number 9. How am I going to remember that? We turn on the pumps, aux to auto, and we're going to view the main, and then we're going to view auxiliary because this uses the auxiliary tank first. Let's close our wing windows while we are crouched below everything as well. Come back up here, reset everything on the yoke. And then we're going to hide our yoke for a second because we're going to start engines right away. Auto igniter on. And hold the start. When it gets to 15% on the turbine, we'll introduce full throttle. Let's do it right this time. Let's do it the way we're supposed to do it. When it gets to 15%, we're going to introduce quarter throttle. Just enough to get it to take off on its own. And there it is. And then when it gets to 50, we will give the rest of the conditioner. However, it is moving the left engine too because my yoke has one axis, yada, yada, yada. Same story, different day, 48 for 950 all the way in. It should take off and stabilizes at 63, which is about now. We will do rate generator, and then we'll repeat for the left engine. And there is 63, left generator, close the cover. We can not worry about this gyro thing. Gyro, oh my gosh. Someday I'll say that correctly the first time. The gyro thing. We'll take care of that in a moment. Where are we? I was looking away at something. Repeat, lower cover. Auto igniters can come off now. You use those to save engine wear and tear. Avionics can come on now. That is a switch from before. AC bus should spin around everything, and it does. Now we'll hit Y on the keyboard because I've mapped Y to count for those gyros. Even those aircraft, this aircraft shouldn't have that problem. Carenado knows about it. They're taking care of it for an update. But for right now, we have to compensate for the sim and correct our vacuum stuff. Turn off external power at this point. Come down here and do the rudder boost. Climb on the co-pilot side. Turn on some blowers and the furnace, and we'll do auto. Let's do decrease so it doesn't get to 120 degrees. While we're down here, we'll test overspeed. And the stall. And we'll put the yoke back in. And then we'll get our Avidyne going. We want weather on, although we have no weather today. Whoops, I didn't mean this one. I didn't mean that one either. I meant this one. Goodness gracious. There we go. No, radios instruments is all going to be on GPS. I was thinking about doing the localizer approach because we haven't done one yet. But we're just going to do GPS. Runway 6 at our destination. Let's come over here. It's this one. Let's pull up our map. Why did our frame rates come down? I was in the 30s before we started recording. Where are we? Where's us? There we go. Click on the airport. There we go. Details. Of course it's 2992. I don't have weather turned on. What am I thinking? There we go. 2992. Oh. 800 feet, so it beeped at us. That's funny. Let's test our lights, which I have on preset. F? What? F is supposed to be not there. F is supposed to be here. What is that all about? Control F. Thank you very much. There we go. That was me going outside. Sorry. Alright, there we go. Everything lights up like a Christmas tree. It is actually Christmas Day night right now. Don't tell anybody I'm flying a plane alone in my studio because the kids and wife are at a Christmas party, which my hidden health issues is preventing me from attending. So therefore, I am in my studio, but that's just our little secret. Alright, cabin pressure stuff. Actually, we gotta come up here first. We'll turn on the environmental bleed valves. Come down here. We're gonna cruise at 16,000 feet like we always do. So set that to 17. Put this almost all the way clockwise. We'll bring it back 3/4 of a turn. And adjust that as we need to. Alright, let's come back up here. Auto feather to arm. We'll go right there. Generator ties close. Anti-ice we need to use because it's gonna get cold. I did keep the temperature, real life temperature, so we do need to turn all this stuff on today. Hopefully it doesn't start on fire, because I think there might be a bug with engine light starting fires. I am not sure. Don't quote me on that, because if it is true, I'll take care of it behind the scenes. Don't worry about it. I'll let the people know who need to know. Here we go. Prop sync then is on. TCAS can come on as well. Yoke can come back in. Autopilot. 16 Ks for this. 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Because we're going to make a U-turn, we'll start with heading bug, and we will climb. Let's take it easy today. Let's go 800 feet per minute. Alright, so climb 1800 vertical speed, all set heading bug for now. That gets us ready to taxi. So let's turn on our taxi lights and our nav light. Ice, we want some icing, folks, before we take off. I'll just leave it on. I've never used that light before. We'll just use it. Come down here. The props should change, because we go into taxi position. First set of flaps down. Trim I usually set on the end of the runway, but we'll do it right now. Let's see if our parking brake is actually set. Hey, it is this time. If you remember a couple legs ago, we just started rolling. What do we do now? We go down the runway. Where is the end of this runway, though? See, look, my preset's in a different spot every time. I'm doing runway 27. Is it that one? Yep. There it is. Okay, we're just going to go out. Actually, let's do my taxi view. This one works. Parking brake off. We're rolling without throttle. We're just going to go over here around the corner quick and take off in a moment. I'll meet you there. Alright, we're going to stop right here. Notice we didn't jerk forward. I reduced my brakes on my yoke. I softened the brake that I was using. So except now it's having a hard time stop. Now it won't even stop, though. That's the problem. Stop, parking brake. I'll have to play with that off camera. Landing lights can come on, taxi lights can come off. And there is my timer for something. So let's get this going first, quickly. Those can go to flight. And let's pull out on the runway. And I've got to check something in the oven. I'll be right back. Alright, and here we are, pulling on to runway 27. We have a few more things to do before we get started here. Let's get those brakes going. They're a little softer than I was hoping they would be. And do we stop? Are we going to stop? No, it doesn't even stop us completely. There we go. I had to let go and do it again. Now it's that parking brake. That works. For more things to check, we're going to do autopilot. Push the heading bug, so we're runway heading. Check all of our lights, flaps, everything is good to go. Trim is where we want. Now let's move trim up a little more like that. Let's start our stopwatch like this. Flaps are down, yes they are. Alright, here we go. Short runway, we're gonna do props forward. Hold the brake while we do props forward and throttles forward. And let go of the brake, and here we go. We'll use heading bug to get us in the direction we want to go toward our GPS. And then after that, we will be all set. So up we go. Gear up. Flaps in. And autopilot engaged. There we go. Smooth as silk. Hand off to autopilot. Alright, let's just have a look here for a moment, and we'll check our engines and stuff. And then we got to turn around to meet with our GPS track. So actually, let's first get that started here. Let's get our heading turned all the way around, like we've done so many times before. And then we'll come down here. I guess it decided it's easier to turn right than left. That's fine. Let's bring back our props, which will make our torque go up, so we got to bring back both together here. Torque is down, props are down, and torque went back up, so bring torque back a little bit more. Alright, checking engine gauges, green, 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 for now until we climb, and then we'll determine what our cruising should be. Now, I don't know why our waypoint is in here, but we don't have our GPS deal. Where is it? There it is. Okay. I did set up the GPS off camera this time, by the way. I guess it's fun to go over the flight plan with y'all. If you want to see it, there it is. Dials is the tip of Manhattan. Pierce is the approach. But I just did it off camera to save a couple minutes. Otherwise, there we have it. We're going to turn all the way around. And I'm obviously forgetting something. Yes, I am. CDI. There we go. That makes a lot more sense. Oh my gosh, how did I blow that? Anyway, let's keep turning. Let's keep turning towards the GPS. Now we want to go like that on the heading bug now and intercept that thing. Well, as we're good to go, we're just going to sit here and make sure our autopilot cooperates. And have a few looks around, I guess. There we go. That looks nice. Actually, that looks very nice. Very pretty. Not much to say. I could talk forever, but it's going to be a pretty self-explanatory flight. Oh my gosh. We will change our autopilot to GPS as soon as we intercept our GPS path. We will turn off landing lights at 10,000. We're only at 5.5 now. We will come down whenever a VNAV says to, which I guess we could set now before we get too close to the city. But the big thing is to see the city. So we'll set this, and then I'm just going to turn us loose. I don't need to talk as much this time as I normally do. So 2,000 feet at what? Pierce. Right there. 800 feet per minute. There we go. Double check our work. 2,000 feet at Pierce. 800 feet per minute. The descent says 30, but it'll go faster once we level off. And where's VNAV? There we go. Alright, we'll intercept your GPS path and then switch to GPS or nav on the autopilot. Well, as we're just going to climb, I'm going to manage lights and autopilot. You're just going to sightsee. I'm going to eat dinner in real life while you guys look out the windows. So I will catch you. Man, it's early to say that. We're only 20 minutes in the video. I will catch you at top of descent. Alright, we're almost at top of descent already, even though we're nowhere near New York City yet. It's out there. Well, not really out there. Straight ahead and to the left a little bit. In fact, that airport down there we've landed at before. But we have to manage the aircraft during the descent, so I'm hoping I don't forget to look out the window and look at the city. That's the whole point of this leg, and that's the whole point of getting rid of weather just for this bit. So we're ready to descend. Don't have to be too aggressive though, because we're not quite at 800 on the VSR, but let's turn this off a second. Let's back off a minute. And I'm going the wrong way. Our waypoint right there is the city. So that is the city itself. So let's get that ready to go. We are going to put our autopilot altitude down to minimums, which is what? 780. So we're going to go 1,000 because we're going to be taking over way before then, I think. You know, let's just go to 800 anyway, just because we can. All right, what do we need to do? Very simple. We just descend. 800 feet per minute is already selected. All select is already selected. We're staying on nav. Just one touch operation. And, oh, I think we can see the city popping up there. All I need to do now is manage my speed. But, there you go. Something to look at because New Jersey itself really isn't that interesting. My wife and I do have friends, though, that live right out the window there. Right over there. Actually, is their stuff modeled? Their area modeled? No. No, but they live right about there, actually. And they're New Yorkers. They one of them was actually on SNL for a while. So not gonna name drop, but I do have a friend who was on SNL who now lives in Jersey. What city is it in? It's in New Jersey somewhere. Still commutes to New York City though. Still commutes to Manhattan. Alrighty, so we're just gonna sit here and watch our speed and make some adjustments at 10,000 feet to our lighting. Otherwise, I don't think I have anything to say, really. We're just going to sightsee as we fly by the city. I do have to be down at 2,000 feet by our waypoint in 6 minutes, but that's what this is for. And as the VSR, if it gets higher, I have to be more aggressive on my descent. But otherwise, it's just looking around, which is the whole point of this. You've heard me say all this before. So if you don't know what I'm doing to descend this plane and how we're going to land it, just check out some other legs of the series. I talk about it pretty much every single time. This time we're not, though. This time we're just going to fly by the city, get our GPS approach, land this thing, and I do have something to say about the landing, though, as we approach. Of course I have something to say about the landing. I'm always talking about landing. Alright, we're comfortably over Long Island. Our approach is working out. I wasn't going to talk during this time, but I figured why not. We're still on our descent as we need to be. Still on target. 6 minutes till our next waypoint. We need to be down to 2,000 feet, and then we'll let the airplane get as close as it can on GPS, and then we'll try to land. Hope you enjoyed the scenery. I noticed my frame rates took a massive dive, which I was not actually expecting, because in X-Play 10, my frame rates are actually quite good with all that scenery and all those objects to drop. But for some reason, X-Play 11, maybe there's incompatibility or something maybe I don't know about, or maybe there is an update I'm not aware of. In either case, those frame rates were horrible, but hey, we got through it, we made it. The sim almost crashed a couple times behind the scenes where it stalled for like a minute or two to load stuff. It was pretty bad, but I edited in the good stuff, edited out the bad stuff, but now we're back in the high 30s for frames as we get away from that city. But it was fun to see. I feel like I'm cheating though, since we don't have real world weather turned on, but hey, some days it's calm, right? So, landing lights I turned on a long time ago. Everything else is fine. I turned on my icing light a long time ago, by the way. I just didn't talk about it. But managing my speed, checking our descent rate, and we're about to join our GPS approach in line with the runway. It's going to dogleg left, and yes, it does. Quite a bit, actually. We'll get on our approach, land manually. I guess I'll talk about that landing thing super fast. So, even though I did a video a while back, and I was able to land just fine in this aircraft with X-Plane 11.10, Carenado themselves say that there's still an issue, so I don't know if I got lucky or I just worked my way around it, but if we sink at the last second on our landing, it's that turbo prop issue that X-Plane 11 is having. Carenado says they're going to fix it with these other bugs I pointed out, but we'll see. I'll do best I can. Basically, I'll land at my approach or landing speed, 104 knots, flare, and we either get sucked down or we won't. Alright, we're about to make our leg to the left. If you look just off the left border of your screen, you can see the beacon for the airport is about to go off the screen right now, but it's over there. Does it come back? There we go, towards the middle of your screen. In fact, you can see the runway all lit up too. It is getting to be evening. And we're at 2,100 feet. A few seconds early. Actually, no, not a few seconds early. We'll be spot on. I was making several adjustments for autopilot. We went all the way down to 400 feet per minute. We were at 800. Ooh, another airport there. Alright, not much more time for sightseeing. We'll do our last little bit here before we get this thing going to land. There's out over the ocean, of course. And coming back onto Long Island, we're going really fast. I better get back inside and fly a plane. Sun's about to set. Here we go. Let's bring our speed way back. What did I say we want to be at? 1,700 at Tycho. We're way ahead. And then we want to be down to 780 after that. So then we want to go down 1,000 feet from 1,700 to 780. We want to go down 1,000 feet right after this. Alright, let's get gear down. And let's do first set of flaps, which autopilot is going to hate us. Let's do props all the way forward. No, it wasn't too bad. Autopilot recovered. Not bad. Let's get a lot more throttle in there, though. There we go. Now we're floating. We don't want to float that much more. We're going to stay level, though, until we cross Tycho. And then we need to come down, what I say, about 1,000 feet. 920 feet. But we'll say it's 1,000 feet. And we'll see how long it is on the timer, adjust our descent appropriately, and adjust our speeds. Now, we are going to try to touch down at 104 knots, and we will flare, and we'll have some props in, and we'll either get sucked down, or we won't. 800 feet per minute it is. Alright, second set of flaps in now. We're going to float like a float, don't float. Here we go, on the glide slope, but we're floating, so we're not really on the glide slope. Alright, good approach speed. I'm going to go sterile. I know people hate watching videos where the presenter doesn't talk, but we're going sterile in the cockpit, and I'll see you on the ground. Alright, if you're wondering what happened there, I felt the suction down and I goosed it. And I pulled back the throttle the yoke all the way. And we started to float. So I know I floated, but keep in mind, that was with the yoke all the way back. We started to float. So I just gunned the throttle, pulled the yoke all the way back, and we barely floated. So keep that in mind when you criticize my terrible landing. And my brakes are not working. My brakes are not working. I have to change the brake site map. Alright, first thing we're gonna do, landing lights off, taxi lights on, turn on the cabin flood and the overhead flood. And we'll come back down here and stop our clock. 41-minute flight time. There we go. Flaps are already in, props are already at taxi. Let's just taxi off the end here towards these pine trees because there's nowhere to park. It is not a 3D airport. And we'll try to stop right over here if it'll let us. See, it goes to this speed and it won't stop all the way. It just won't stop. So let's do the parking brake. That screeches to a stop. Pull the props back to feather. The best sound in the world. Kill the conditioners. And let's get some lights off here. Turn that one off. I should put those off earlier. We'll keep the tail flood on. We'll turn emergency lights on so people can leave. We'll come down here, do external power. Should be able to turn the battery off and everything should stay on. Yeah, some stuff will stay on. Avionics can come off. We can open up those. And we'll come back here to the main door, let that open. Do some static elements and the baggage door and hop outside. And there we go. Welcome to wherever we are. I forgot. What is this called? Brookhaven on Long Island. Nice approach over the ocean. Nice scenery to see with New York City. I know my landings are bad. I know people are leaving comments that my landings are bad. This is a very difficult airplane to land. Turboprops in general are very difficult. And then you add the X-Plane 11 thing, whatever. Same story, I'm not going to repeat myself. I will practice though. My other airplanes are fine, but this one is a disaster for some reason. I don't know if it's me. I think it's me. So hope you enjoy the flight. Where are we going next? We have 2 legs left. I can't remember where we're going next, but we're on our way to Maine. So I'll figure out where we're going and get that flight set up, and I'll catch you on the next one.